Hey everyone, and welcome to Shoot the Shit Saturday Night, and it's me, your host, the Boston Bad Boy, Jason Rumble, the Alpha Dog, whatever you want to call it. Tonight, we're going to try and talk some pro wrestling, because let's just face it, if you really haven't watched it the past couple of weeks, how can you talk it? So I'm hoping the panel can really talk and bail me out on this one this week, because it really hasn't been an interesting week topic-wise. So without further ado, let me bring in to you the APOC, who looks like he is backstage this evening at a professional wrestling show.
What did I say? Friday.
What did I say? I got things going on Friday.
Well, you could have said that, you ding-dong. I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, buddy. I had baseball this Friday night.
That's all right. Hold on a second. I want somebody to say hi. Come here. Come here. Look who I found. The Devil's Reject, right. Brandon Webb.
What's going on, B Webb? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, another day, another dollar, brother.
Can barely hear him.
Yeah, I get a little bit.
All right, he's got to go.
All right, buddy. Good luck. Break the leg.
So, it looks like Mr. Joey Kilmartin's going to have egg on over his face.
Why? What's going on, Mike? Fill me in.
Cody
really
Rhodes signed
this week. What?
Cody Rhodes signed with WWE.
It's official.
It's all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, I think, Mike, it's going to be him and Seth Rollins at Mania.
Oh, I'm going to pop out and pop back in because I can't hear anybody.
All right. Nice shirt, Pelly.
Yeah. Cost me a pretty penny.
Yeah, how's it fit?
It's a little small. I'm getting back into the gym on Monday. I got to lose some weight, so
that's a 2X. That's a 2X.
It's still a little small.
So how's things, brother?
All right, man. I watched college basketball pretty much all day. Michigan just beat Tennessee.
That's better.
What about wrestling-wise? What'd you watch?
Everything. I thought the wrestling was kind of blah, but I thought this week was like the week of the promos. Seth Rollins and KO did some great promos, and they worked each other on the Raw main event, which is a pretty decent match. I saw what Fingers posted on the forum about AEW starting to become what I like to call is repetitive. It's just, I'm agreeing with Mike here. I agree. It's the super indie.
Use those because those ain't mine.
I'm agreeing with Mike. It's the super indie of the indies. It's just, if you're all right watching the Spot Fest for 15 minutes and not really telling a story in the ring, you can go ahead and watch it. But it's just, I'm starting to get tired of watching. Would you agree, Jason?
I haven't watched in a couple of weeks, and I'll be honest, ever since the pay-per-view, I've been dying to watch, only for the simple reason to see if Steven Regal has had any influence on the backstage.
That would be a negative.
Yeah. No, it's just other than the top guys like Danielson and Moxley, which they're a new tag team, and what they were doing, they want to do their sort of violence, which is working. All these other indie guys, man, they're just, I don't know. It's not working. It's not really. I like it and I don't. I don't know if I'm on the fence or I don't like it or I do. But Chris Jericho cut a great promo this week. He called his faction sport entertainers, which didn't get over with.
That was a rib at WWE. That's what that was.
Yeah, I know.
That was him being stupid. But the fact of the matter is, and let's get back to Cody Rhodes real quick, then I gotta go.
All right.
Everybody, and I mean everybody, is reporting that he signed 14 days ago. And WWE has not come out and said that's not true. So what is that telling you?
I read that on Dirt Sheet that said he had signed over 2 weeks ago. The latest thing I read from Dirt Sheet, I'll bring it right to you right now. was that Cody was not going to be part of Mania. He was going to debut at Monday. Now, here it is right here. WWE internally planning for Cody Rhodes to be at WWE Raw after WrestleMania on Monday, April 4th.
Now I heard that he's supposed to debut at Mania, wrestle against Rollins, and then at the end of Mania, he's going to come out and they're going to set up a feud with Roman Reigns.
Off the bat. Why would they do that off the bat?
Because he is going to be pushed to main event status, and he's getting, from what I heard, I don't know how true this is, but from what I understand, he's getting $3 million a year.
Wow.
He's getting what Khan wouldn't give him.
But so is he getting a lot of creative control? That's I
don't know. Yo. Okay. Yep.
Well,
so we'll see what happens. We'll find out at WrestleMania. That's the best you can do.
Yeah, I hear you.
I just hope after 7 to 8 months they don't put it under that makeup and go back to Stardust again.
For $3 million a year,
that's what I heard.
I'll do anything.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta get back in.
All right, brother, break a leg.
Later.
All right. Well, yeah. Kelly, it seems like it's you and I tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I really didn't watch much wrestling, you know.
The news of the week is Scott Hall, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I heard he was in his house. He fell, broke his hip, and he couldn't get a hold of anybody for 3 days.
Wow. Did he relapse? That's the question. He relapsed. That's how he broke his hip. Very sad to hear.
Yeah. So, and then he went for the surgery and just got complicated from there. But your idea about the ladder match at Mania that you had?
Yep.
If they do that, they should name it after him.
Yes. Totally agree. Totally agree. The Razor Ramon WrestleMania ladder match. So Mickey Biggs will not be making it on.
So you got baseball starting, do you?
That I do, buddy.
Right on.
That I do. So Cody Rhodes signs. I'd like to see something definitive, but I think the WWE, realistically, if anything, is going to hide that right now.
Yeah, but remember they did the surprise with the Hardys at WrestleMania and it got over. So why wouldn't they do another surprise?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking they want that type of kayfabe pop.
Yeah. But it was, as I said, it was like the week of the promos. Seth Rollins came out on Raw and said he had an idea that he should have a show on WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then Kevin Owens was like, well, that's my idea. That's my show. And then Seth Rollins said, well, let me wrestle you, and whoever wins gets to have the show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So KO went over like he should have, but I completely agree with Mike that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes will wrestle at WrestleMania.
I'm just dying to find out how this is all going to come to fruition.
It's not. It can't be the night after WrestleMania. It has to be WrestleMania. It has to be. Yeah, but
go on.
Getting back to AEW, like, I don't know if I'm off the fence or on the fence because as I said before, WWE and AEW are two different audiences. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So if you like that spotty wrestling, that new age wrestling, like I can watch it, but it seems like every week they're trying to up the last week and they're going too far with some of the stuff. Do you know what I mean?
That I do. Like I said, I've been meaning to watch since the pay-per-view, but I've been so busy I haven't watched any wrestling. I think the most wrestling I watched was last night's SmackDown up until Pat McAfee was told to go to Vince McMahon's office.
Well, he came out and cut a great promo on Austin Theory. It's
Oh,
one of the
nice.
best. It was probably the best promo, one of the best promos of the whole week. He was told to apologize to Austin Theory for what he did the week before. And he said, I apologize that you're a punk. I apologize that I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. So it really went off really well. So I'm looking forward to that match. Like Pat McAfee, we saw what he did on NXT. He can really wrestle. It really went off really well.
I'm looking forward to this Johnny Knoxville No Holds Barred.
Yeah,
Jeff
that's just
is watching. Hey, Jeff.
Match. See how much crazy stuff Johnny Knoxville will do, and like if he was in like I guess he's in a no holds barred match. This guy will probably do anything in front of 80,000 people.
I can't.
Do you see the stuff he does in his movies?
Yes, I do.
It's crazy.
And I have. Yeah, that's why they call it Jackass.
So
I think WrestleMania is shaping up to be the whole week of it is. There's a lot of great wrestling in town that weekend. So people who are going to spend money on wrestling that week, you got Ring of Honor's debut coming back. You have the GCW collaborative, they call it, the collective. Just 12 different shows. And then look, the WWE, 2 nights of WrestleMania, NXT, and the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
it's a lot of professional wrestling.
Should be a great weekend of wrestling. Yeah, and let's talk about Big E for a second. I mean, his little injury.
Yes, Big E's injury is a very sad thing. But it was. I can't say you outlaw the move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really disagree with those out there who said they need to think about outlawing a move like that.
Well, yeah, but if you don't, you could hurt yourself on a headlock takeover if you don't do it right.
That's absolutely right. I just think that the timing was off. Yeah. When you're doing a release style suplex like that, that counting on a lot of things. McIntyre does it successfully. Big E's a big dude too, but McIntyre's done it to Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, to a lot of guys.
McIntyre, though, is a bigger guy. He's like almost 6'8".
Yeah,
he's got a lot more room to clear, a lot more room clearance, more height. They can clear it, but I don't know. It's just
the type of move that the English dude is. He's a thick dude.
Yeah, was it the type of move that should have been done outside of the ring?
What's the difference? Those Brazilian jiu-jitsu mats, they do real style wrestling on those. They do German releases and things of that nature. So how is it any different if you don't mind me,
Yeah.
I just think it was a bad bump.
And this week, if you saw, they put Ridge Holland over Kofi.
Yep. What do you think about Pete Dunne's name being changed to Butch?
Dude, if they don't do it right, he'll be released in 3 months.
Yeah.
And those WWE releases that said everybody came out,
Yep.
they're false.
Yes, they were.
Because Shayna Baszler's wrestling at WrestleMania for the women's title.
I know
Natalya.
with Natalia. I posted it because it looked like a WWE source, and good. I'm glad to know that it really wasn't true news. You know.
So I guess Joey Janela's done with AEW.
Yeah. Where are you going to be watching WrestleMania?
Probably at home, but I was talking to Dwight, and he's going down to Harrington on April 2nd.
And yeah, I had asked you if you wanted to come down.
So I talked to him, and I tried to reach to him again today, and he didn't get back to me. He's got to find a ride to Moncton to go down with Chantel. So I don't know, transportation wise and stuff like that, it might not be possible. Rumble.
Yeah, I hear you. It's too bad Dana didn't get booked as a referee.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dana,
yeah, he might be getting a new job at a gold mine here in town.
good for him.
Yeah.
So if he gets a job at a gold mine, I would say professional wrestling for him is going to be on the back burner.
Probably, yeah. 4 days on, 4 days off. So,
and he made all them purchases to take those 2 territories over. And what happens when somebody just puts a rig in one of these buildings and just says, you know what? Screw you, Dana.
there's there's another promotion starting here in the Maritimes.
Yeah, I seen that.
Richard Boudreau. I don't know who he is, but
very interesting. I seen his thing.
Yeah.
He's written for Barstool Sports, I guess.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read his credentials. I'm watching a little bit of the NWA Crockett Cup.
I watched college basketball all day. Some great games on.
Yep, JD had a wrestling tournament today.
How'd that go?
Pelly, he went 0-5. 4 out of 5 matches. He was up by 6 points or more, and he lost. He just got tired out, and he got pinned.
Yeah. But he's wrestling kids twice his age, isn't he?
He wrestled a kid today that was in the 7th grade. Not the 7th grade, I'm sorry. He wrestled a kid today that was 7 in the 1st grade.
Oh, okay.
But he probably outweighed JD by maybe 5 pounds. It's all right. JD got a silver medal today.
Oh, right on. Is he wearing it?
Oh, yeah, he loved it, buddy. The thing is he wrestled his best match when he put a pair of legit wrestling shoes on. He had been wrestling in Nike sneakers, and a person donated a pair to us. He went out at his best match. He was up 15-8, and he got lazy, kid, and he just stayed there pinned. I'm like, you gotta kick out. And he couldn't get out quick enough. But yeah, he was up in every match. He went to a double overtime his first match. So they kept on tying, you know what I mean? So interesting day.
Yeah. NXT was all right too.
So what's the
They
deal with NXT? What was the Miz doing in NXT? Doing the interview.
see. I think they're hurting for viewership, so they're bringing guys down from the main roster, so people might want to watch. They had Dominic Mysterio wrestling some guy
Oh wow!
on there, and they had LA Knight wrestled Dolph Ziggler. That was a great match. There was a lot of annotations for respect for Scott Hall, like gear and the couple gimmicks, but overall, it was an okay week of wrestling. I'm just with WWE. I'm looking for them to pick it up a bit more going into WrestleMania. They're starting to, but I'm looking for a bit more next week.
It seems the one that they concentrate on a couple things, and that is, I'll be quite honest. It seems like they're just concentrating on Brock and Roman and the Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey is basically is what they're mainly talking about. It seems like
Yeah.
it seems like they're really not trying to verbally and figuratively push the main card.
Yeah, but they're also this Kevin Owens Stone Cold thing. I think they're
Yeah.
pushing as well.
What an
But,
interesting tag team, just to cut you off real quick. So I'm watching the Crockett Cup, and the tag team is Aaron Stevens along with the Blue Meanie versus JT, the kid that used to be in the I call him the first ever Street Profits. I believe it's JTG because Chad died.
Yeah.
But it's JTG and Dango.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
What formerly known as Fandango. He now calls himself Dango, I believe. But what an interesting team this is, right? What an interesting match. What an interesting fact that now Aaron Stevens wears guy liner.
Where's what? What's Skyliner?
Eyeliner, but when you put it on a guy, you call it guy liner. Yeah, it's very
You trained with him, didn't you?
yes, I did. Yes, I did. He came to about a year and a half after. But he was up watching the classes with his father twice a week. So he was already learning the business.
I thought he had a great gimmick in WWE.
So did I. Would love to see I would love to see a guy like him come back and work in the WWE. He was good. He's a sports entertainer.
He was, yeah. You could call him. He was a WWE superstar.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So when is AEW's next
Pay-per-view?
Yeah.
So April, May. I believe it will be All Out, is what they call it. If I'm not mistaken.
Like I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted with AEW.
They go
I'll
every other month.
I'll watch because it's wrestling, but I've always been a WWE fan. And
Yeah. I'm hearing right now they're trying to come up with a little something for Brian Cage. And supposedly
he's still AEW.
Yeah, he signed a 1 year deal with Tony Khan. Tony Khan wasn't willing to let him go.
I could see him in WWE.
Yeah, so did Tony Khan. That's why Tony Khan gave him a 1 year deal he couldn't refuse.
If he could cut a better promo, he'd be in WWE.
I think he'd be there. I think he'd be there regardless of the promo. I think he just got the look that the WWE is looking for.
Yeah,
He's
put a
WWE style.
Put a decent manager with him.
Yeah. I put MVP with him.
Yeah.
Or even that guy there that's down in NXT with the Diamond Mine.
Malcolm Bivens.
Yep,
Yes.
love me some
Perfect.
Malcolm Bivens.
Or even Robbie E there.
Yeah, he would be great with Robbie E. I like that. That's a great suggestion too. I like that. That I do. Pelly, it looks like you and I are going to have the quickest ever gorilla position here on a Saturday night. I was
That's
going to
all
be
right.
I was going to be honest with you. I was so wondering what even we were going to talk about, knowing that WrestleMania really hasn't changed all that much. You know what I mean? What have we really learned other than they've been scrambling for the, like you said earlier, they've been scrambling for the talk show segment part. And
Just as I said before, Rumble, all the people want to see is Stone Cold, and this is all he's going to do is give some stoners and drink some beer, and that's all that's going to happen. He ain't wrestling. He ain't wrestling. If he was wrestling, he would have wrestled 2 or 3 or 4 years ago at WrestleMania.
well, I guess it's one of them things, Pelly. We'll have to wait and see. You know what I mean? What if Stone Cold's able to go 8 to 10?
I like to see it. I would like to see it.
What if he's able to go 8 to 10 and they dodge in and out of the ring and it's basically outside and it's not like holds or anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Stone Cold
that
whips him. He holds the top rope. He flounders out, goes around ringside. Stone Cold follows him, throws him back in, goes for an elbow. Stone Cold goes back. You know what I mean? And
that
duck
was
a
Stone
bunch of
Cold style
duck and
anyways.
weave.
It was all brawling anyways.
Yep. So I'm one of the ones that can honestly say I can see 8 to 10 minutes. Jeff, I'll put that up. So Jeff Villas said, what's a little bit about what you heard on anything interesting that you'd like to share with the community on what you heard on the podcast, buddy? You know? Well, it's Shoot the Shit Saturday night, and there's really not, I'm going to be honest with you. We're trying to talk a little wrestling, being Adam Jack Pelly, otherwise known as Sidewalk Sam. We're keeping it real. I think next week, with it being 2 weeks outside of WrestleMania, I believe next week we'll have a lot more to talk about. We'll probably learn a lot more on the whereabouts of one Cody Rhodes. You know, what if they wait until not this Monday coming up, but the last Monday before Jeff, I'm sorry to say we're probably going to last here about another 5 minutes. We're looking to get a little over 30 minutes tonight. Not much on wrestling. So why don't you listen to that podcast? And, Jeff, maybe we'll pull you on next Saturday evening to be part of the round table. You know? So.
What wrestling? So you didn't watch? Did you watch any GCW this week, or was
I watched nothing, Pelly. I really, to tell you the truth, the past 2 weeks I've had to stay at work up until 8 o'clock, and then when I get home at 8ish, I say that I want to put, the DVR on to watch it, but then I just end up playing, talking to the kids or keeping on a program with my wife just so her and I have, a little time together.
That's what I do. I DVR most of it, and I want to watch.
I don't have one of the apps that I normally would use for my DVR on my TV at work so that I could watch it. And normally, if I get to go home during the day from school, since I got a little gap from 3 to 5, which I haven't had in about 3 weeks, which I'm not going to have again for a little while. So I'm going to have to make it a point to like watch wrestling at some point in time, because now next week I go to having practices from 3 to 5 o'clock, and I work the gym here 3 to 4 nights a week, and I'm here at 6. So you know, it is what it is. But WrestleMania will be WrestleMania, and I'll make sure I'll be watching that. I'll be watching a lot of GCW that week.
Yeah. Yeah. How was your trip?
Trip was great, brother. Great time to see the family, have some good food, So, yeah, had some Domino's pizza.
I
My
had
sister made sauce and meatballs with rigatoni. What else did I have? I got to try Jersey Mike's sandwich shop, at which it wasn't bad. I had been waiting to have it.
I had Pizza Hut today. It was rather expensive, but it was worth
Pizza
it.
Hut.
Yeah.
Where do you got Pizza Hut?
Up the road.
Oh, I never knew that. I always thought it was just ring, 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 220, or whatever that is.
Oh, Greco. You like the Greco?
Oh, it seems like we're going to stay on for an extra few minutes. We got Sticky Fingers saying, give me a second. So it's awesome to have the Fingers report. Is that Pizza Hut chained with KFC, Pelly?
No. It's just they're different here. KFC and Pizza Hut.
So right now we have on this Crockett Cup. I'm trying to think who the other jacked up juice set is with the Master Law, Chris Masters.
How's Chris Masters looking?
Bro, he looks like $1 million still.
He's coming to Halifax next month in May.
Oh yeah, for who? For Chuck?
Chuck. Yeah.
Then I never seen these two guys in my whole life. There's a lot of indie talent on. I've never seen in my life. This team called Gold Rush. Kid's got a great look. He's wearing like a short-looking Ric Flair robe. And then he did the oldest trick in the book where he puts his hand out to shake somebody's hand, and he goes, ah! So you know that he's from the school of Cheap Heat. So, and then he's with the guy that looks like an in-shape D'Lo Brown. Very interesting, to say the least. I don't have the volume up, or else I'd be able to tell who he is, but he's the Golden Boy or something like that. Oh. Thanks, Jeff. You're gonna send me the link by email. I'm suspended.
Then how does he? Never mind. I'm not going to say nothing.
He can be on. I have no idea. I'm suspended. Yeah, now I don't know who this kid is doing he over here doing the Robbie Ellis shuffle. Watch your mouth, AJP. Oh, Pelly. James Forbes telling you, watch your mouth. F.O.
Sorry,
He
sorry,
slayed a
Finger.
Ferguson. Go rinse that out and get me some water. So right now, Bram and the Master Lock himself have taken advantage of this young golden boy character. I'll tell you, the dude's partner's put together. Kind of looks like Hacksaw Butch Reed to an extent. You know, I don't know who he is. So I send it to you there. Form Z. I sent you the invite.
You don't got to take that test anymore to get back home, eh?
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's COVID like in Canada right now?
It's not too bad. It's here, but it's not bad enough. They're ending all restrictions Monday.
Oh wow.
You can go to mask, and you can go to places without having to show your vaccination card and stuff like that. So
Heath Ferguson.
Testing. Can you hear me?
We can
Yeah.
hear you, Forbes. So we want the sticky fingers report. Give us your lowdown on your gives and takes from this week in pro wrestling.
Yeah, Fingers. I saw your post about AEW. I'm kind of torn about it. I'll watch it, but it's just
What?
Is the word repetitive a good word?
When it comes to AEW,
Yeah, repetitive.
Repetitive means they keep on repeating things. So that sounds to me like they're booking like the WWE if they're repeating things.
hold on, fellas. Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
No, I can't hear you at all.
Turn your volume
Hold on,
up.
fellas. Audio.
Can you hear us?
Testing.
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 Can't hear a thing.
You have headphones? Do you have headphones?
There he goes.
You know, if I really did go to put this on something, I would have a lot of editing to do.
Yeah,
Maybe.
wish we had a panel like a great panel every week.
I can hear you now.
When did Heath Slater develop a brown beard and go bald?
I gotta give. I give him props.
So Forbes, we're talking about the post you made with AEW this week.
Trying, guys. It's just got no continuity whatsoever. There's
His internet froze. Damn.
sorry.
It's all right. The continuity you said.
It's just too. There's just nothing to sink your teeth into. There's just an overcrowded roster, not enough TV time. Like I even put on Rampage last night, and I'm looking, and I'm like, when did Matt Hardy turn babyface? Just because Jeff came back and he's standing in the ring with Sting and Darby, and we're looking at another 8-man tag team. It's just nothing. There's just nothing to grab hold of. I didn't like Scorpio Sky taking the title either. I mean, he's good talent, good worker and everything, but he just doesn't have the entertainment factor. I thought that was going right to Wardlow.
Yeah.
Title picture.
Wait. Let's say that again. He doesn't have the what?
The entertainment factor. Like he doesn't.
AEW, there's nothing. Their E doesn't stand for entertainment. It stands for elite wrestling.
Well, what is your take on that? Do you disagree?
What's my take? My take is he's a decent wrestler, but no matter what people want to say, wrestlers need to be entertainers in order for us to be enthralled and into what they're doing.
Well,
moves alone only go so far.
But they put Wardlow in position. They
Yes,
made him very interesting. They put him in a spot where he was going to. It was just like it was all his.
So
he'll get that spot back.
Sometimes what they do, and it's a very old school method, but for some reason I don't see old school method in AEW.
Go ahead, Rumble.
So, old school, back in the day, they would swerve the wrestling fan because you would believe that they're going to definitely go strong with one thing, and then they throw the curveball right at you. Yeah. I don't know if I can give Tony Khan and his creative team the type of that type of credit of giving me a, so to speak, swerve. I don't know.
I got no defense, guys. I've been waving the AEW flag for a while, man, but it's just like
I think the reason they wouldn't put the title on Wardlow is because they want that heat between MJF and Wardlow.
Yeah, I know, but like I figured MJF was going to start heading towards Hangman by Double or Nothing, because like who is lined up for Hangman?
I think you're going to see Bryan Danielson
again,
or CM Punk.
I'll take Punk.
I like Jeff. I like that Jeff. I like that Adam Cole, baby, again.
I'd take Adam Cole also. That's why I wish they didn't. That's why I wish they didn't have that match already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wish they could have built that a little bit more, and maybe put someone else in. But I don't know, man. It's. I guarantee you, the Ring of Honor card's going to be more entertaining than AEW right now. I can't stand what's happening with the Briscoes. That one media executive is holding the Briscoes back for what he said 10 years ago, which he apologized for like the day after. He did it in character. He fucked up, but it was 10 years ago, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's Warner executives don't want him on television.
But they can have, a once alleged like murderer on TV with Snoop, who was on trial for murder. I mean, Tyson, who was in jail. It's just hypocritical. If that Warner executive heard Jay Briscoe's apology and his real person, which he didn't like say it and then just let it go for years and then apologize. He apologized immediately, publicly, in a ring, to a crowd of people. Again, I know AEW doesn't need any more people, but I mean, the Briscoes should be seen on national television. They're one of the most entertaining tag teams out there today.
Yeah. But if AEW was smart, like I think Tony Khan just cares about people. Like if they were smart, AEW is the company that should be releasing people.
Well, I think you're going to see it. I mean, at the end of the day, when you really look at Cody's situation, Cody probably saw all of this writing on the wall and was just like, regardless of how WWE ends up using me, at least he'll get paid. He'll have the power to write his own creative as far as not being buried as part of signing the deal, which Cody's going to be a big player right away, and he's going to be paid. Clearly, AEW has no room for Cody, so props to him for having the foresight to just go out, make himself a bigger star, because he's coming back to WWE bigger than when he left.
Oh yes.
So, Fingers, when do you
Yep.
think the money's going to run out? It eventually will. When do you think the money's going to run out?
When does the money run out?
Oh, on AEW?
Yep.
2 years, maybe. Because that's what I was going to kind of point to next, because they're not making any. The ratings are, again, with all of this talent, there's no way they should be drawing under 1 million. But that's the case. I mean, I know that they're not going to have a bigger crowd than WWE, no matter what, for casual viewers. But there's more than 1 million hardcore wrestling fans like us out there. I don't know what it is, guys. What do you guys think? What do you think the problem is? Is it creative?
It's two different audiences. Like WWE knows how to sell professional wrestling, and they've been doing it for how many years? 50 years now.
Yeah, but with all those guys surrounding him, I mean, I hope a guy like William Regal could make a difference. I strongly urge you guys to listen to his interview with Jericho today. It was actually gut-wrenching to hear what this man's been through physically. And
does he bury the WWE in any way?
Nope, not one bit. Nope, not one.
What does he say about it? Well, how does he mention his release?
He kind of more or less went into being thankful for his time there. He went through a lot of health issues that none of us know about.
Yeah.
So the release was actually a good time for him to regroup, refresh. I didn't realize how close he was with Mox and Danielson, but evidently they were all part of his last matches, and they were part of his first people that he mentored.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that kind of led him that way and kind of convinced him. He's had open heart surgery due to a faulty cartilage around his heart that caused. He goes into all this detail where it almost killed him. It wasn't your typical type heart disease. It was something that started from, I think it was from a leg injury or a neck injury, where some of his spinal fluid interrupted the secretion, and then it went up to his heart. And the only reason he was able to continue on was because he was in shape and because he was active. So as he got older and became stagnant, that's when it became a danger. So he went in for the surgery on the 18th, worked through it, and he kind of leads to this in his opening promo there at whatever their pay-per-view was. And he kind of goes into tears a little bit with Tony when he kind of touches it. But, William Regal may be one of those early casualties, due to some of these health issues. So he's just trying to take it easy, stay in the business, and die in the business. He's taking care of himself, though. I mean, he's being careful. It was kind of it was upsetting, you know what I mean? Especially, after this week, Scott Hall just absolutely devastated me, man. Just crushed me. I know that he was struggling through the pandemic and had to overcome a lot of demons, man. But how can you not love Scott Hall? You talk about charisma personified. I could listen to that guy tell stories all day long. The way he talked about the business, he just had a way about it. but his he was one of those guys that was, I would say, underrated for sure. Yeah, he didn't need a title, but um, just to hear how it happened, he breaks his hip and then has 3 blood clots, 3 heart attacks. It's just anybody who gets lower extremity
Kelly said that he was laying in his house for like, what was it?
3 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess he had
Amazing.
yeah. I think he was back to drinking a little bit. Um,
Uh,
but you know, no one has to say it just because he's gone. Everybody knows the type of talent he was, and he was without a doubt my favorite member of the NWO, no doubt. He just had a way about him which was cool, and like nobody else. He had a very cool factor that nobody had.
love Razor Ramon. I loved him when he was Cowboy Scott Hall in the AWA.
Yeah. I mean, you go back and you find all his shoot interviews, man. He's just so articulate, passionate about the business, and he just tells good stories. But tough to see. I'll tell you, I don't know if anybody touched on it here, and I know that we had odds and dislikes for the guy, man. But Maradi dying really fucking knocked me for a loop, man.
There we go. There's another guy, Dan Marad.
I was able to express him my issues with him, how he handled Tony, and he responded. But this guy, I would have to think, worked himself to death because he was in that studio 7 days a week trying to produce content and doing it alone. He just wouldn't delegate the work. And Cena Senior, he was on an interview this week because Cena Senior was close with him, and he kind of told the story of like what was going on, because he had that leg injury from however he got it, and I don't know if he was, medicating or whatever, but like, dude just fucking dropped dead in his father's shower, and he was like putting this big event together down in Melrose on the 16th.
Yep.
Now it looks like the MWF is gonna die. No one's gonna take it over because of the time. Nobody else is gonna put the time in, because whether you like Dan or not, he was a very good interviewer. I found him funny because I told you I liked him at first, and then
Yeah.
that shit went down with Tony, and I turned on him. But I found him very entertaining. But then I would just sit there and think, I was like, this dude is sitting there producing content like day after day, and he's doing it alone. And it's like,
Yeah.
get some help. So I don't know. I think he always spoke well about Bo.
Yes, he loves Bo.
I talked to Bo a little bit about it. He didn't want to really talk about it, but I was just he had the Berserker on a series. John Nord.
Yep.
Fucking entertaining. Cena Senior on Friday nights. Very good, because Cena Senior was the only one who was able to reel him in when he'd start popping off at the mouth at people who, whether it be Tony or Jake, for like, no showing or whatever. And he'd always bring up Andy the Ass Eater and Lanny Poffo's self-service technique. And I just hey, we're all gonna die. I know this, man, but just real shocker, man.
Yeah, I knew Dan very well.
Story. We were we did that Bell Time Club show in Malden. I wrestled that it was like a guys were handcuffed to the post on the outside. It was like a chamber match, and every 3 minutes somebody got unlocked from the handcuffs and they entered the ring.
Yep.
So I saw Maradi. He was selling them shakers, protein shakers, and I talked to him for a bit. And he sold me a Seth Rollins shaker for $5. And after the show, he came up to me and was like, "Sidewalk Sam, you can wrestle on my sidewalk any time of the week." So I was like, "Yeah, right on, Dan. Thank you very much." So he was very nice to me.
I saw him at the last event that I went to there. I took my son to meet Mark Henry. It was at the end of just before the pandemic started.
Yep.
And I saw him, he was over by the ring, and he was kind of slouched over, favoring his leg. And he looked like he just looked so stressed out, and just, again, I don't know what the actual name is for his ailment, but it had something to do with his foot or his leg or his ankle, something that flares up, a CPRS or something, CSPRS. I don't know what it is, but he spoke about it often, like on the show.
Well, it was a self-inflicted injury, let me tell you. I remember him talking it over with me and Bo, because he hated working at Toys R Us over in the
Guys.
Wellington Circle.
He did a Monday night show with one of the guys from Men on a Mission, the manager. What's his name? Oscar?
Yes.
Okay, he did that every Monday night, which was his last interview. And that's the stuff I would listen to, before I go to bed, or like I listen to a lot of podcasts. So that way, like, to help us, to learn from it, to, see how it's entertaining or not. But for some reason, Oscar's voice made me relax. And when they were doing that interview, Dan was really complaining about his leg throughout the interview. He's like, it's really, really, really bad today. And he died the next day. I mean, I would imagine that, you got to medicate that kind of thing. And who knows?
Poor guy.
42 years old is definitely too young to check out. So as much as I ripped him, I want to give him some props too, because he did do a lot of good things for charity. The toy drive for the Paul Bearer headlock thing. And that's a fact. He did those things. Everybody's flawed.
He's a good person, man. He's a good person. So, fingers, before we get going, how do you feel WrestleMania right now shaping up?
Well, with my disgust for AEW, you know what I mean? I'm kind of looking at the card itself and not looking beyond it. And, I'm looking forward to seeing Steve. I'm looking forward to seeing Cody show up, face Rollins, if he shows up, and not the Raw after. I mean, he's got to fight at Mania, don't you think, guys?
There's
talked
always
about that.
the one report I read about his debut is that supposedly he would debut at Monday Night Raw the night after.
Well, Rollins doesn't have anything significant. You can't keep a guy like Rollins off the card, especially when you've got all of these outside entities in. That's just not fair, man. Cody would be a great opponent for Seth, because who else is there for Seth? I mean, and I've said it before. I was like, would they do? Do you remember a couple of years ago when they were scrambling to find an opponent for Cena, and they did that like last minute makeshift match with Taker, and it was like a 5-minute deal unannounced?
Yes.
Yeah, they could do the same thing. Seth Rollins could play right to WrestleMania that has no opponent. Come out Saturday night, say, I still don't have an opponent. Boom, here comes Cody Rhodes to the ring.
I'd rather hear dong.
Jay, don't rule it out, because you got to remember, right? You got to remember that don't rule it out. I said it originally. I says, don't rule it out, because Taker did not get to say goodbye to the fans after a match.
Having that match against AJ Styles, if you want to call it a match, it's not a match.
So you're with me on this?
Oh, I say it happened Saturday night. Right?
Okay.
Yes, I say it happened Saturday night at WrestleMania.
If Mike King's listening, he's going to throw clown emojis at us.
I don't care. I don't care.
I saved my post, Jay, on this. I saved my post on this, brother, and I'm ready to post it. And I got Mike King's comment circled in a red marker, calling me a clown for suggesting that.
Okay.
Well, he'll be locked and loaded to be on blast if he wrestles Taker.
So I think, and this is how they set it. This is how they're going to set it. I think they set it up. I think the lights go black, and in the middle of the ring is the big pedestal and the crow from the Undertaker when he would put the fucking rave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that
Uh,
would be.
Or the Druids come out.
Yeah, but Jay, they're still at 60,000 seats, man. They got to do it before Mania, no?
I can't listen. That place is going to have 80,000 strong a night, no, regardless. It's going to have 80,000 strong a night. Mark my words. Where are you hearing they're only got at 60,000 right now?
here it
Where are
comes.
you hearing they're at 60,000?
60,000 seats sold.
Yep. Where are you hearing that?
PW Insider.
Okay.
And one more.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure. What the hell is that other like? It doesn't matter.
Yep.
I heard two sources of it. Doesn't mean it's fact, but it's like I know that there'll be a rush, and they'll
Guaranteed. They will have between 75 and 85,000 average per night.
But don't you think that they could just make it an automatic if they announce Taker versus Rollins and Cody versus or
They could have just did one night and had and concentrated on just getting 100,000 people. Instead, Vince is selfish and wants to get 150,000 people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Think about it that way. Even if he averages 75,000 a night, that's 150,000 people that went through his gate. Not counting if he gets 10,000 at the NXT show. That's 160,000 screaming WWE fans.
I think you're going to see Vince saunter out in a like mild power walk during that match, and cause McAfee the match.
Yeah?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's got to get involved in the match. He's got to, yeah. He should.
Yeah.
I just hope that I know unification of the title is important if they can end the brand split, but if they can't, and you only have one title and two separate brands, that's going to be problematic. I like AJ. I like the way they healed up Edge. Who goes over there, guys? I think Edge is going over, clearly. I think Edge needs one more run at that title, but if it's all tied up in Roman, you gotta.
I think Edge is coming over to Edge is on Monday Night Raw. No.
Yeah, yes. but Raw needs a title if they're going to still have separate brands.
Yes, they do. That's why I see the.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised before WrestleMania.
So like there's two different ways I want to see the main event end.
Raw.
Kelly finish.
You've seen Brock and Reigns on SmackDown, but before WrestleMania, you got to see Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw. You got to see that before WrestleMania. Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw.
All right. So I see this ending two different ways. One way is the titles get unified. Roman Reigns holds that belt for another year, and The Rock comes out to just confront him, and they build their year angle. Okay. The only way I can see that belt staying non-unified is two different ways. One, Seth Rollins comes down and gets his nose dirty in that match. Or two, there's been a guy that we've been talking about for a very long time, and things have gotten silent on where this man could end up. What if Bray Wyatt was to come back and the end of WrestleMania and the lights hit, things get destroyed, and it's the Fiend standing over Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns?
If that were to happen, then I would take a ferry up to Nova Scotia and then slide under Adam Jack Pelly like a mechanic and simonize his undercarriage with my tongue. That's how much I'd pop.
I will pray that the Fiend does not show up at WrestleMania.
So that's 2 ways. That's the 3 ways I see that match ending.
You know, a year ago or 6 months ago, you know what I mean, when AEW was on the right trajectory, you know, there was only 2 more entities I wanted to see sign up with that, and that was Bray and the Briscoes. And now I look at that and I'm like, there's no fucking room.
Yep.
If anybody needs, needs the, the star power, it's WWE. And I would hope to think that, Bray has some concessions written in. Don't fucking bury me anymore, and I'll resign because he's a free agent.
Yeah.
I know Vince can still do whatever he wants, but like he may have more power. But I saw a recent picture of Bray. I think it was pretty recent. I hope it wasn't, but he looked in terrible shape. We saw a picture of him about 6 months ago. He was slimmed down and looked fantastic. But someone posted a picture. I'll try to dig it out, and he looked like he looked like as big as Keith Lee.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And that's not good. Keith Lee himself, and we've said this a couple of times, he does not look healthy, man. You can see it in his face. It's like this fluid buildup. I know that there was a heart issue when he had the COVID. I'm worried about him.
Yeah.
He seems off, even.
It's all right. So last night I was watching a renegade professional wrestling company called PPW. And the main event was Karrion Kross and Davey Richards. Karrion Kross with his hair, I liked it. And Karrion Kross wrestling on the indies was way better than Karrion Kross on NXT and or WWE.
No question. Did you guys touch on the control your narrative?
No, that's how I want to actually end it. I'm not a I just don't see things like that working.
Mickey
I
Biggs,
agree.
Mickey Biggs put a good thread together on it. We discussed it, and it was just like, okay, you're going to control your narrative, but you're going to have rules against certain moves. Who is funding this? Who's on the roster? If you don't have the funds, you look at Tony Khan, who's got all the money in the world and prime TV time, and he can't even pop $1 million. Not to say that a promotion like that would, but like, who's going to be on the roster? Just them 3 and a bunch of jabronis?
Basically, yeah.
So didn't we already see Raw Underground? I mean, that's basically what it sounded like to me.
Yep.
And Braun Strowman and EC3 and Cross are not needle moving names to. And hey, don't get me wrong. If it works, great. But those are not guys that are game changers. I mean, I think the 3 of them together are more valuable than each of the sum, and would be a good faction. But like, I can't even say in AEW because everybody's a faction.
Yeah.
Malachi Black was so special when he showed up there. He's just another guy now. You know what I mean? Brody King. I mean, they look good together, but every fucking thing is a tag.
Now, I'll ask you this. Do you see why now people sit on the back burner with the WWE?
Yeah, my attitude has changed, but and granted, I'm
It's
not
because
saying
there's only so much TV time for people, and I believe Vince says, I give you this time. If you grab it, it's yours. If not, it's somebody else's. And I just think some people hit TV at the right time.
Yeah, but you got to think of
But
it.
how is somebody like Butch going to get his TV time?
No, I know that, but you guys got to remember too that like back in the day when people would have to seize an opportunity, and you can use Stone Cold as a prime example. Vince didn't see it in him. He was the ringmaster. He got hurt and was able to get himself over without any restrictions. And that was before WWE was a publicly traded company. So therefore, there's handcuffs on these guys all the time. So nobody can just go get themselves over. They can in AEW. They're given that opportunity, but it's just overcrowded and not enough time. WWE has the time, but, again, back to the Austin era, the scripted promo wasn't a thing. Yeah, there were always bullet points and someone to help and some managerial help. But my problems with WWE is the same. It's just like when people speak, they don't make me believe.
Jeff makes a good point right here. I like this. EC3 said he pitched the CYN to the WWE, but it got declined, and then they did Raw Underground after he got released.
Yeah, but seriously, he's right. He's on point. Think about that. Like, it's kind of like, that's the shit cast members on Saturday Night Live used to do, was like pitch these ideas and then someone would steal them.
Yeah.
It was that competitive, but like, why not? Why not? That was a great pitch because let's face it. I mean, they did EC3 dirty. Why? I thought the guy had all the talent in the world and some mic skill, and they just chose not to do anything with him. Strowman, I mean, he was hot at one time, man.
Oh yeah,
there was a point in time.
Listen, I remember when you were eating. We were all eating Strowman up. We were just all over him in a negativity way, especially when he had the match against Shane O'Mac. And I had to bring things to light on why that match happened and why they did the things they did. And the only thing that looked really bad was that bump from the top of the cage.
But before he was on his way out, too, he was cutting one of the better promos in WWE.
Yeah, he was. Strowman came into his own right before the release.
And then
I'll agree on that.
I'm looking at a guy like Omos, and I'm like, I'm still not seeing it. I think Braun was a better giant than him. Not as big, but there were points in time where Strowman did end up winning the title by default, but that was because Roman got the co.
Yeah.
But back at that point when he was battling with Lesnar, there were times that Strowman should have went over and won the title there. There were times when Nakamura was in a program with Jinder for the title. Nakamura should have been at least a one-time champ.
Nakamura will be a WWE champion within the next 2 years. Guaranteed.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He just doesn't seem as special now.
Buddy, they got him doing a lot of things. He's about to become a tag team champion now again.
Yeah, him and Rick Boogs. Guaranteed they're going to win it.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. This is from being backstage, being like understanding what I'm looking at. Shinsuke Nakamura to you just looks like what it looks like to you, but to me, when people get utilized like him, he's a chameleon, which means he just fits with everybody. And that speaks a lot for him too, because that means he's unselfish. And he's a guy from a different country that probably grew up loving that was his dream. So he's living out his dream. I got this funny feeling Nakamura will be a Grand Slam champion by the time it's all said and done with the WWE. He'll hold the NXT. He held the NXT title, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. He's held
USA.
He's held the US. Yeah. He's a WWE title away. Vince will give him that. I guarantee Shinsuke Nakamura will be WWE, either Universal or World Heavyweight Champion by the time he ends his career in the WWE.
He's actually had two moments where he should have won it. When he won the Royal Rumble in 2018 and faced AJ at Mania. Shinsuke should have went over there too. But whatever, I'm not booking.
I think he was keeping with the build of AJ, man.
I'll tell you what, guys. I didn't realize how great Ring of Honor was, but I've been watching all of their old stuff. Ring of Honor was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. So that library does hold some water. If Tony can somehow, I don't know how is he going to like, he has enough talent to have two companies.
What? All right, so I'm going to ask what relevance does the AEW icon have to HBO Max? The icon meaning the company itself. What's the details?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know how it's going to work. What I'm saying is he has enough talent clearly to have two promotions with the overload of AEW.
Where does the other talent? What TV channel is the other talent on?
I don't know. Like, if okay, so HBO Max streaming wise, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I have HBO, but do I have HBO Max automatically too, or is it just an extra service?
No, HBO Max is its own app.
Can you watch it on?
I do not believe you can. I do not believe HBO Max and HBO, if you have it, is it. I don't believe it locks you into being able to watch it.
You know, I've been trying to watch, you know, the other stuff. I've been trying to watch Impact, like NWA Power, but like even MLW, I know it's on Saturdays or whatever, but like I'm not watching wrestling unless it's just easy accessed on my television.
I'm watching the Crockett Cup right now. And I'll tell you, it's hard to watch guys that aren't the greatest workers. I respect it.
I thought MLW had a real shot to emerge.
MLW was a great product before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were calling for De La Renta, the valet, to be.
That was a great product before the pandemic, and another great product before the pandemic was Impact. But
Impact certainly had
great storylines going.
Yeah, see now I've gone back and watched a lot of old Impact shows. Like AEW is still not even at that level when Impact was at its zenith.
No way.
I loved Impact TNA. I loved it.
No way. When they had aces and eights and all them guys, that was their heyday right there.
That was, you know, during the Super Cena era when I completely turned out of WWE. TNA was my program every week. I mean, I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, but they had a really good mix of young guys like the AJ Styles and then you had the, you know, the old timers in there, but it was perfectly mixed, you know.
Yep.
And they got everybody over, and then you know, obviously Dixie Carter and whoever was running it. I think once Hogan and Bischoff came in, it went south.
Yeah, I agree. All right, boys. It's been a great night talking. Forbesy, you saved the show tonight.
Where's the clown? I mean, where's Mike King tonight?
He is wrestling at a local professional wrestling show.
You know, who do you see going over to Ring of Honor? That's on the. Do you think they'll just continuously like interchange?
CM Punk goes over to Ring of Honor and becomes their champion. Call it now.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I'm calling it now.
All right, fellas.
All right, everyone. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, and YouTube. And, you know, check us out live. And hopefully some big things will happen this week on pro wrestling. So we'll have a lot to talk about. I think next week we'll just keep on continuing to talk about how WrestleMania is shaping up. And maybe some of the, we'll talk a little bit of the Ring of Honor card. The Card of Honor held WrestleMania weekend in Dallas, Texas.
Do you think that in any way anybody could advocate for the Briscoes to get past this thing?
Never say never.
Tell Mike King to give him a call and see if he can.
Well, guys, the funniest thing I saw last week was when Jeff Hardy appeared. While Matt was getting beat down, was when his music hit. He still found time to do his dance before he hit the ring. And it was like a fast rushed one, but like those weird body gestures he does, I could do without. But like he still got his shit in before he got to the ring.
Of course, he thinks he's still in the WWE here, and Vince go, "You gotta do that dance."
And as much as I love Jeff and the Hardys, it just did nothing for me, man. It was just
it don't do nothing for nobody. It's a wasted signing.
It's just a lot of wasted signings.
Yeah.
Like
when does the money run out?
It's good. Well, I mean, from what I understand, there's a lot of they're not 3-year contracts given. They're like 6 months, 2 months, but like there's a lot of 1 years that are up. So he's going to have to really shed that salary. Those guys, you know what I mean?
When it stops, Pelly? When he hires 2 to 3 guys that really understand the formula.
How about Regal? Is he one?
What if Regal's health conditions are that bad that he doesn't want to take something like that on?
Well, no, because right now he's acting as a manager.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and he's slapping people across the face.
Listen, he has Arn Anderson. Well, how Arn Anderson isn't working out for him back there? Like Arn Anderson was like a key cog to the WWE backstage. Huge.
Well,
so wasn't Dean Malenko. How Malenko isn't holding up for you know what I mean? They got people from the WWE backstage, and I guarantee they just collecting money.
They gotta fix it, and they gotta fix it fast because that those numbers are gonna go down and go down, and then the TV execs are gonna be like, "What was our deal? 3 years? Okay, yeah, we're all set here."
True that. All right, fellas, I'll catch you all next week, either Friday or Saturday. I'll end either Friday or Saturday night. Not sure yet. I'll let you know in the middle of the week.
Well, maybe by then Bill Belichick will sign somebody.
Okay.
Seriously, man, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think we're gonna get a lot of
scrap heap guys that are fucking injured, like Julio Jones, and they're not win. I mean, I don't know, man. They don't even have a proper coaching staff.
Nope. Listen, right now the Cleveland Browns went above and beyond.
I love it. I think that's a big upgrade over Baker. Fucking.
I'll be ordering my Deshaun Watson jersey next week because I have me a Cleveland Browns hat.
Cooper, right? So like, Baker sucks. You know what I mean? Like, Watson's a legit quarterback, whatever the case may be.
See, Baker had a horrible year last year, but the year before, Baker Mayfield was one of the top QBs in the NFL.
Watson's better.
Oh my God, yes. Watson is the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks.
He's just got to lay off those roofies, man.
Yeah.
All right, stop trying to extend the show. I got to go, bro.
Later, fellas.
Later.